When last we met, I made mention of a certain whaling captain by the name of Absalom Boston, and promised that we would discuss him further another time. Well, there is no time like the present, and discuss him we shall. But first, we should at least make mention of the remarkable life of Absalom's uncle, Prince. Prince Boston was born into slavery on Nantucket Island in 1750. He grew up strong and able, so, in his 22nd year of life, his owner, a man named William Swain, hired him out to a whaling ship, intending to collect Prince's wages for himself at the voyage's end. Prince Boston, however, had no intention of handing over the pay that he had earned through hard and dangerous work to a man who had no right to it. The matter went to the courts, and Boston won, gaining not only his share of the voyage's proceeds, but his freedom in the process. In this way, Prince Boston became the first American slave to sue for his freedom and win. With a family history such as this, it is little wonder that his nephew Absalom would be destined for remarkable things also. Absalom Boston was born in 1785, a third-generation Nantucketer. He probably attended Quaker school as a boy, and we know that he was literate, no small distinction for the time. At the age of 15, Absalom Boston went to sea to learn the trade of whaling. Over the next several decades, he honed his craft, sailing in at least 4 ships, and rounding Cape Horn in 1809 to hunt for sperm whales in the Pacific. Finally, in 1822, Boston was made captain of the black-owned whaleship Industry and set out for the Cape Verde Islands with an all-black crew. 6 months later, Industry returned to Nantucket with about 70 barrels of whale oil, worth around $40,000 in today's money. The voyage was by no means a great financial success, but Boston lost not a man during the trip, quite an accomplishment in the dangerous whale fisheries. This has also frequently been cited, including by myself, as the first time that a black whaling captain sailed with an entirely black crew. Although, according to Skip Finney's excellent new book, Whaling Captains of Color, Paul Cuffey may actually have beaten Boston to this distinction by about 7 years. Regardless, this is probably the last time that Boston ever went to sea himself, although he continued to invest heavily in whaling trips, including a very shrewd investment into the voyage of the ship Loper, which made Boston quite wealthy. The successful voyage was celebrated all over Nantucket, and a gleeful Absalom Boston gave the toast, "May the enemy of our celebration and of African freedom have eternal itch, and no benefit scratch, so long as he live." Boston invested his money back into the community, opening a church and a school. In 1845, his daughter was denied entry into the local public school due to her race. Boston sued, and the school was integrated, opening the door for the integration of several other schools in eastern Massachusetts. Ironically, when he died in 1855, Boston was buried in a segregated cemetery. After his death, Absalom Boston was remembered by those who survived him for his leadership both on land and at sea. One crewman who had sailed with Boston in Industry wrote of his former captain, "Here is health to Captain Boston, his officers and crew. If he ever gets another craft, to sea with him I'll go."